Hello, everybody. Welcome to the lunch table. My name's Evan. Today I'm joined with Joel and Zach, and today we're going to be talking about Week 15 of the NFL season and giving our Week 16 predictions. A lot happened during Week 15, so we got a lot of games to cover. But before we begin, make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at lunchtable.takes, and to subscribe to our channel if you enjoy the episode. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers, and we're getting close, so help us out with that. First off, we will dive right in with the Thursday night game, which was a game of all time, as we like to say here. The Raiders absolutely pummeled the Chargers, 63-21. First, we'll talk about the game, and then we'll talk about what transpired shortly after that game. But Joel, you can start. What were your thoughts on this blowout game?
This blowout? Heading into the game, you didn't expect much from it, to say the least. Aiden O'Connell versus Easton Stick. Plus the Chargers being without Keenan Allen. So, odds were already stacked against them in that game. And coming off the week before, with the Raiders not even scoring a point, I really didn't even want to tune in, but yet I did for the first quarter. I don't know what to... I genuinely don't know what to say.
There's really not much to say.
There's not much to say. Uh-oh.
You'll have to hold it the rest of the podcast.
There's not much to say.
I mean, the Chargers are terrible.
The Chargers...
But this was by no means... This was by no means a Raiders masterclass, though. The Raiders are a very bad football team.
Yeah, they are, but at the same time, the offense looked pretty baller. Defense was making plays.
They looked like the best team in the NFL in that game.
But it's kind of easy when Easton Stick's your quarterback.
Yeah, that was one of the worst performances I've ever seen by any team in NFL history, honestly.
And they didn't use Eckler at all. There is so much wrong with that Chargers organization.
Yeah, that was just terrible.
Like I said, I turned it off after the first quarter because it was... I couldn't watch it.
Yes,
it was terrible.
It was really bad. That was a Madden.
That's what I've come to expect on Thursday night games.
But even that was bad for a Thursday night game. That was like a Madden level game. Like the score was like...
This is a Zach playing the computer's 75-0 game.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it looked like. It was just ridiculous, man. I've never seen anything like it.
So you're a Tennessee Volunteer now? Huh?
Oh yeah. Evan don't like that, so I got it up there.
I don't like the Tennessee hat.
So I got it right there.
What do you think, Mr. Evan?
Yeah, this was definitely a game to remember for all the worst reasons. But, it was a horrible game. I think the Chargers, they might have played the worst game of football I've seen with my two eyes.
Yeah.
It was
bad.
I haven't seen
What was it? 42-0 at halftime.
Yes.
Eckler got 5 carries. And
why?
I don't understand that.
Well, they said heading into that week that they were going to start looking more towards committee as is.
It's so stupid.
So
that's so dumb.
So dumb. Jacoby Myers threw a touchdown. That at one point,
Devontae Adams.
At one point, he had more passing touchdowns than Easton Stick did.
Had me 15 points on my bench, man.
Yeah. Yeah, if you had any Raiders players in fantasy, you probably won your playoff game this week.
Or the defense.
Yeah, or the defense. No one did, let's be honest.
Actually, someone in my Dynasty League won because he had the Raiders defense.
How many points did they have?
25.
Wow. That's pretty good.
They seriously won the week because of that. So
that's not as bad as you losing because Zay Flowers had 1 catch. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay, mister.
But yeah, all in all, it was a bad game. The Raiders absolutely massacred them, obviously. Aiden O'Connell actually looked like a comparable quarterback.
Yeah.
Aiden O'Connell's not their future quarterback, trust me.
But,
Yeah, their defense played well. I mean, Max Crosby's been the leader, the catalyst for that defense, and they've been playing very spirited football since they got rid of Josh McDaniels. So they're playing for their coach right now, seeing if he can hopefully get a.
I think he genuinely
job.
deserves one.
I think he does.
I mean,
all the players seem to like him. So.
and even with the roster, that roster really isn't that great.
So
They're winning games. So
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him get a shot at it. I never heard of him though until this year. I don't even
played
like
for the Giants.
Okay, yeah, but why not? They seem to like him.
Yeah. But the best news.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, the big headline was the aftermath of that game was Brandon Staley finally being fired.
And the GM and the defensive line coach,
Yeah,
they cleaned
just
house,
pretty
which
much.
was desperately needed.
And they didn't even make, what's his face?
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, the head coach.
Yeah,
the interim head
he
coach.
said he didn't want to be.
Oh, he said he didn't want to. I didn't know that.
I'm wondering why this was delayed for as long as it was, though.
Yeah. I mean, they've been saying it since last year.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, after blowing that playoff lead and everything, it's kind of like, all right, he had some shots there. Now I think the next. Well, never mind. I won't even bring it up.
Yeah, I just looked up Chargers cap on Twitter, and your tweet is like the 6th or 7th one that pops up on there.
Are you
What?
serious?
Seriously? Wait, why'd you look up Chargers cap?
Well, because I was just going to see how much cap they have for the next year, and it's like 3 or 4 tweets in is yours.
Wait, pull it up. Which one is it? I tweeted a million of them.
My first day in office, I've realized just how massive the pile of absolute dog crap the Chargers are in, and I'm not sure how I'm supposed to be negative $12 million salary cap, but we are certainly in a ginormous hole. This will take some work to get out, but don't fret.
When we started our franchise, that was what I posted.
But don't fret at Chargers.
Yeah, because we started a franchise, and I chose to be the Chargers, and I didn't realize how much of a hole they really are in.
They're gonna have so many coaching candidates coming there this summer.
But I didn't
for the simple reason of one guy.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
But I didn't realize how much of an issue the Chargers really are in, though. Like,
Well,
with
you pay-
cap and, like...
Well, let's
they
be
are
real.
aggressively overpaying for old players, is what I realized.
Well, my thing is Khalil
Like,
Mack.
I cut Khalil Mack.
If you did that in real life, you'd be a fool.
Why?
Khalil Mack is leading the league in sacks.
I mean, yeah, but dude, he was... I mean, I don't know.
He's been good.
For me, he was a massive, massive cap issue. And I'm 5-0 without him, so...
Of course you are.
Me and Evan had a duel. It was a heck of a game.
Should have won.
But yeah, no, Brandon Staley. It was about time.
Yes,
I think we all can agree on that. Brandon Staley, it was time. I mean,
It was time a while ago.
They waited
He's
a
been
little,
questionable since day one. Bless you. You're welcome. He's been questionable since day one.
I don't know about that.
I'm not necessarily, but he's done a lot of questionable things.
How long was he there? 5 years? 3 years? Oh, 3? That's it?
3.
So his first year was Herbert's rookie year?
Oh, yes.
I think so, yeah.
It was around that time.
So he had a good year with Herbert that year.
He missed, which they missed the playoffs that year.
No, they missed the playoffs the next year. Remember? Because didn't they miss the playoffs the year the Bengals went to the Super Bowl?
Yes, because they lost to the Raiders.
Yeah, so they
that last
had
game.
so his rookie year he won Offensive Player of the Year. So they had a solid year that year offensively, and then the next year they screwed themselves out of a playoff game, and then the year after that they blew a 30-point playoff lead. Okay, yeah.
So
Not a great track.
And then now this year they are in the
Top
they are
5 pick.
historically in the
there's
books.
potential they get a top 5 pick.
Yeah. And they have placed their name in the history books of the NFL. with a
Scoregami.
Scoregami,
embarrassingly
baby.
awful game.
I love the scoregamis.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the right move to get rid of Staley, obviously. I'm interested to see, like you said, Joel, that head coaching position is going to be one of the most coveted positions coming into this next offseason.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see who gets it. I've heard Bill Belichick's been a name that a bunch of people have been throwing out. Obviously, you got guys like Kellen Moore who could be promoted. And you got obviously like Ben Johnson and some guys like that who have been in talks. So It's going to be interesting to see.
But no matter who gets it, it's still going to be tough just because of the salary issue they're in.
yeah, but you're going there hoping that Herbert can fix all of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's yes, but it is tough for him to fix salary issues when he just took a massive extension too.
We'll see what the new GM does.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get a top 5 pick, I've seen them getting mocked like Brock Bowers and stuff. Like,
I've seen a lot of Brock Bowers, which I love.
And they'll have Keenan Allen
Help
probably.
them
Keenan
tremendously.
Allen will be all right next year. I mean,
Mike
Keenan
Williams
Allen's
will
getting
be
old,
back.
but he'll be all right still.
Mike Williams will be back.
you still have Eckler coming back.
So they've got like a pretty solid. Like,
They have a good team.
Like they've still got a good team. It's just all of these guys are getting older and they're overpaying for them.
yeah.
Well, and their defense hasn't amounted to anything.
No,
So.
even with Joey
And
Bosa,
they can't
Khalil
stay healthy.
Mack.
Joey
well,
Bosa
I guess
can-
Khalil Mack has good stats, but their defense still sucks. So I mean, it doesn't really matter.
It's
anymore.
Yeah, because there's still another 10 people.
Well, let's be real with ourselves. They can get pressure, but that secondary is god awful.
Yeah, J.C. Jackson was a bust. Who they traded back to the Patriots, didn't they?
Like a 6th round pick.
Yeah, that was that dude. That is an awful return on their investment.
I think
That's
I
terrible.
think they're still paying him.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bad, dude. That was really bad.
Bonilla did.
Yeah. So their Chargers are currently $35 million over the cap projected. They're paying Khalil Mack $38 mil, Joey Bosa $36, Keenan Allen $34, Mike Williams $32, J.C. Jackson was getting paid $21.
Jeez.
Why the heck is Mike Williams making that much money?
He signed a, 4-year?
Yeah, he had a 4-year like 70 or
Something
$80
along those
million
lines.
deal.
Yeah.
Then
I don't think he's proven to be worth that though. He's had so many injuries.
Well,
in his career.
he had that 1 year
He had a breakout
where
year.
he went. I think it was his contract year.
Yeah.
I think he had a break.
He went over 1,000 that year.
Yeah,
And he was scoring a pretty decent amount.
yeah. He's just had so much injuries issues his whole career. I feel like they're overpaying for most of their players.
Yeah.
So it'll be a tough situation for them. But
Yeah, we'll see. What
I mean, they got Herbert, so they if they are smart with everything else, they'll be all right. It's just gonna be a tough situation.
Yeah, I mean they got the biggest piece that you need in a franchise quarterback, but they gotta make sure they can field a team around him.
Yeah, because you can't win if you don't have people around him.
I think this team is built to like at least make the playoffs. So I think if you get the right coach in there, then I think that fixes a lot of the problems.
I would agree.
They're still just gonna have to address the issues, like long-term issues with like the cap and stuff. Because Keenan Allen is like 33, and Mike Williams is gonna be 30 next year. Eckler's
close to
Close to
late 20s, and then you've got everybody on the deep. I mean, Joey Bosa is like 29. Khalil Mack's in his 30s. Like everybody's getting up there.
Yeah.
So their window is shrinking.
It's
Very fast.
pretty small unless they can get out of this cap issue.
Yeah. So I mean, or they'll just go on a run like the Rams did and reap the benefits of that.
Yep.
Which are terrible after that.
The Rams actually have done a pretty decent
This year
job
they're
with
good,
it.
but last year they were terrible.
Played with injuries, though.
Yeah,
They've done decent so far.
Yep.
This year.
they've had a solid year this year.
Yeah.
But still, they went all in, haven't done anything since.
Yeah. Speaking of a team that has some interesting cap decisions here coming up, the Bengals beat the Vikings 27-24 in one of those interesting decisions. T. Higgins had a great game. He had 4 catches, 61 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of those touchdowns being very impressive, where he caught a toe tapper and reached out to the goal line to get it. So I'm sure you've probably all seen that. But but yeah, big win in overtime against 3 straight games that the Bengals have won. Jake Browning. How are we feeling about our Bengals?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Jake Browning's playing really well. I mean, T. Higgins had a good game. Jamar Chase is out for at least a week, though, with his shoulder sprain.
It's that time for T. Higgins to say, "Here I am."
But that's probably
Well,
the
but
best
see-
situation for Chase, honestly.
It is.
I think it is because, we're not going to the Super Bowl this year, so unless Jake Browning proves to be insane.
Never should have cut him.
Yeah.
Never should have cut him.
But, honestly, though, like, T. Higgins having the not-so-great year that he is could be a good negotiation tool for the Bengals because this is like a contract year for him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so that could help the negotiations a little bit. I'm sure they're going to probably tag him and have him for next year, anyways. Though I'd figure.
I can see that.
I would assume
I
that's
would
what
assume
they would
that's
do.
what they're gonna do.
They'll tag him and then lose him after next season. Is what I figured they'd do.
Or they tag and trade him. I can see that happening too.
Or hey, maybe.
I mean, if I'm tagging him, I'd like to keep him though.
Huh?
I mean, if I'm tagging him, I'd keep him for the year I haven't tagged.
But usually when you tag somebody, that doesn't sit well with the player.
Yeah, and then it opens the door up for.
I know,
trade.
but I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like, I feel like for the Bengals, like, their Super Bowl window, like, as much as it is, like, oh, as long as they have Burrow and Chase, they have a fighting shot in any game, which is true, but I do really feel like their prime Super Bowl window is, like, now. They got a really good team in there.
I think
Like, once T. Higgins leaves, it's going to be a pretty, I mean,
you just had one of the. Well, you had 2 big injuries this week.
well, yeah, the big injuries, too, but I'm
DJ
not, the Super Bowl,
Reader.
it's not this year, but, like, next year, like, assuming everybody's back and healthy, they should have the same team next year that they had going into this year.
DJ's gone.
Minus, like, a couple guys.
But DJ Reader's a big piece of that.
He wasn't playing well this year, though. I guess you guys said their run defense was terrible all year.
I mean, it hasn't been great, but DJ Reader is still a top 10 defensive tackle.
Yeah, he is, but I'm just saying I'd rather have T. Higgins than DJ Reader, probably. Like, I feel like they got a really good team in there still. I mean, I don't think DJ Reader is going to be the deciding factor of whether they win the Super Bowl or not.
Yeah, okay. I mean, the Bengals also got pretty lucky that Nick Mullins does not care to hold onto the ball. He is very careless with the ball. And that was pretty self-evident with some of the throws he made.
Well, he carved them up the first half.
He did, but at the same time, that one that BJ Hill threw, or picked off, you cannot have that.
That's one of the worst throws of all time.
It's on par with the butt fumble, dude.
It really is. That was bad.
It's on par with that.
Yeah.
Well, and
that was not
the
pretty.
Vikings had a 4th and 1 like 3 times and couldn't get it.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
The Bengals just played a better football
well, yeah, they won.
They did.
Defense stepped up.
There is still potential for them to make the playoffs.
They're the 6th seed
They're
right
in the
now.
playoffs right now.
They are. There's
They
a
played
lot of
Chiefs
stuff.
first round.
There's a lot of things that need to get worked out, though. There's a
would
lot of things that need
I
to
think
happen.
I saw something because the Bills won. I think their playoff chances are like 20% or 13%.
I would say that they have to win 2 of these last 3 games, I'd say, to make it,
They need to go 10-7,
which would be winning the last 2 games, right?
winning 2 of the last 3. Yep.
Yeah. I think that really is possible, though.
I think so.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it would be nice to see them make the playoffs because, like, hey, they made the playoffs with like a terrible, like,
Jake Browning's gonna be
everything that could possibly go wrong for them this year went wrong, and to see them still make the playoffs would be pretty cool. But like, on the same hand, I realize that they're not like this is just not the year that they're going to win the Super Bowl. So it's kind of like whatever, you know.
And then this is the year they do. Without Burrow.
Jake Browning goes on like a Nick Foles type run.
I mean, I would be thrilled, but I mean, do I
Without-
think that's going to happen? Absolutely not.
Without Burrow, they win the Super Bowl.
Hey, then we
That
got,
would be hilarious.
I think there has to be a discussion that is held then at the quarterback position.
No. No. You let someone else take Jake Browning.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
There's not. There's no. Even if Jake Browning and the Bengals win the Super Bowl this year, there's still no discussion. And,
Joe Burrow.
and even if they wanted to have a discussion, they couldn't because they made him the highest paid player ever.
Exactly.
So,
That's what yeah.
I mean, I think Joe Burrow is the better player by far and away, though.
But I think,
Jake Browning's good.
Jake Browning going on the run that he's going on right now.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that that's not catching the eye of, say, in Atlanta or something like that.
contract next year.
He will.
Yeah.
Potentially even get him started. I can see it happening.
He's not the worst quarterback. He is not the worst starter in the NFL.
No.
He's not. The Falcons have some random starter
Tommy
down there.
DeVito.
Yeah, he's not good.
Desmond Ritter.
Yeah, he probably is the worst. Desmond Ritter's probably the worst.
After this week, I'd probably agree. That or the Steelers quarterback room.
That's true.
That's true, I guess. I I might take that over Desmond Ridder, though, maybe.
I would probably
And that's tough, though. Those are garbage rooms.
Overall, I mean, Bengals just continue to pull out gritty wins.
Yeah.
Proving
No
their
clue
grit.
how they do it, but they do it.
But pulling out gritty wins, making turnovers whenever they can. Have you guys seen their turnover margin?
It's crazy,
It's
isn't it?
plus
yeah.
10.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why everybody's like trashing on the defense this year, and it's like, dude, like I don't care how many yards they give
up
up.
so much. Yeah.
I mean, personally, I don't really care how many yards they give up as long as they don't. I mean, we get turnovers and they stop them from scoring. I don't really care how many yards they give up. I mean, because let's be honest here, the goal of defense is to keep the opponent out of the end zone at the
And
when
if you're-
when you really get down to it, the whole goal of the defense is to let them not score. I mean,
And if you're winning
exactly,
the turnover margin on the year by 10,
exactly.
you're
So
doing your job.
So it's like, I mean, you can trash on the Bengals defense all you want because they give up a lot of yards and they have bad stats, but I don't really care if they don't
I
let them
just
score.
don't
It
think
don't
there
matter.
was much turnover from last year to this year. Like, don't get me wrong, losing both safeties is a big deal.
Well, it's a
but-
young secondary. They're a young secondary.
I get that, but like, you would have expected the front seven to be better than what it.
Well, and Trey Hendrickson is. Trey Hendrickson's got like 15 sacks this year.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been good, but like
The whole unit as a whole, I get what you're saying.
Murphy's finally picking up. Yes,
I still don't like that pick.
my
I saw something the other day.
Murphy's getting better and better each and every week,
But-
and I love it.
Yeah, I've been fighting on that hill for the Bengals defense all year. I really don't think they're that bad. Like on the stat sheet, they might look bad, but once again, let's actually put it on the football field. They don't let them score points. For the most part, they've had bad games, but you know.
For the most part, yep.
But
Take a gritty win any day of the week.
exactly, it's a win, you know. And I mean, it doesn't got to be pretty, but if you win the game, it doesn't really matter, you know.
Amen to that. Amen.
But they do got work to do, obviously, don't get me wrong, on both sides of the ball. Yeah, I mean, I catch myself in this weird, like, I don't know, it's like, I want them to make the playoffs, obviously, but on the same hand, I just don't really care that much, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, I know, realistically, they're not going to win the Super Bowl, you know? I mean, shoot, who knows? But, like you know, it's more than
Odds
likely.
are,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like, okay, like I don't really care that much.
And
you know?
who's
We'll
to
see.
say
We'll
they
see, I
even make?
guess.
Who's to say they even make it? 'Cause
Well,
they
I'm
could,
saying I'm rooting for them too, but on the same hand, like I don't really care.
they
you
could
know?
be 10-7 and probably still not make it.
Yeah, because they lost to the Texans, so that could happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That Texans game is going to be a lot bigger than what people thought. Maybe.
Texans, and I mean, even if the Steelers were still in it, that would be.
They have the tiebreaker over all of the other teams that are like fighting for that spot, though. For the most part, like they've got the
Except for the
tiebreaker over the
Steelers.
Colts. Well, not yet, but they've got the tiebreaker over the Colts. They've got the tiebreaker over the Bills, and they're probably going to beat the Steelers this week. So, like,
Yeah.
they'd be 1-1 against the Steelers, though. No, yes,
Yes.
yes, they would be. Yeah.
1-1.
So, I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the Bengals can do, but I'm more interested to see what they're going to do next year than this year, with hopefully a healthy Burrow actually playing at full health from preseason to the end of the season.
I think one thing that's been huge for the Bengals is in their 7 of the last 8 games, Joe Mixon has scored a touchdown, which I think is huge.
Yeah, he's stepped up. Well, actually, the guy I've really seen them start.
Chase Brown.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I wanted to bring him up earlier.
Well, they've been. I think they were almost split carries. Or
Well, the
they
big thing for this
I think
game
that
was
should be the
Mixon
goal
was hurt.
for. Well, I think they should split carries for good, honestly, because I think Chase Brown is a little bit more explosive.
Well, yeah, Chase Brown's definitely the most.
He's a heck of a
explosive.
play. You've just he's like you got to have him on the field, you know, somewhere. Like, get him on the field.
Mixon
somewhere.
had 10 for 47. Brown had 7 for 23.
He's definitely
What about passing game though? Because they both get some
3 catches for
3
Mixon.
catches for 28 for Brown and 3 catches for 14 for Mixon.
Yeah, so it's almost an even split. Mixon touched the ball 3 more times.
essentially. And the only difference, really, I feel Mixon would have got more touches in this game. He was dealing with a hip.
But I don't think it was an issue that he didn't though, because Chase Brown's so dang good.
Chase Brown has. This is what
He's a big play guy.
he is.
Yeah, which is why I say like I wouldn't mind seeing him on the field a little bit more next year. That's gonna be another interesting one to see what they do at the backfield next year if they truly do split it next year,
Or if
or if
Mixon's
or if
even
Mixon's a cap casualty and they get rid of him.
there. Or
You don't know.
They see Chase Brown as the guy.
I mean, Mixon's definitely giving him something to think about because he's 6th in the league in carries, 11th in yards, and 9th in touchdowns. So he's giving him something to think about.
Yep.
I don't know if they get rid of him because they also restructured his contract this year too. To like they're paying him less because he wants to be there.
Yep, he does.
So I don't really know if they get rid of him, but I would say you might see a little bit more of a split, or at least Chase Brown might play more because like up until the past couple weeks, like Mixon has played, like Brown hasn't played at all.
Because Brown was hurt the whole year.
He wasn't hurt the entire year.
He's been hurt for a good majority of the year.
75% of the year.
Interesting.
I mean, in his,
I thought he was only hurt for like 3 games.
and he wasn't hurt at like the first 3 or 4 games, which they weren't going to play him just because he was just getting. He was probably still learning the playbook.
Yeah.
But since he's been healthy, he's been really good. He had a lot better game, like stats wise, the game before because he scored that big touchdown. But yeah, I think you have Mixon, who's like your more physical back, who's more kind of like a workhorse guy, and then you have Brown, who is a big play guy, who's a great receiver, and kind of just has change of pace back. So I think they can definitely utilize both of them effectively, and yeah, I think it should be good moving forward. So
I agree.
But yeah, losing Chase is definitely going to hurt them. But yeah, like you said, Joel, it's Higgins. I mean, Higgins will step up.
And Boyd.
Boyd had a big play to put them.
See what Charlie Jones and
I was going to say you'll see Yoshi Voss and Charlie Jones.
I want to see what they can do.
I think Charlie Jones is more of that like Boyd replacement though than like Chase, but he'll still get playing time. Like he's a different receiver than Chase. They don't have anybody.
Definitely.
They don't have anybody that can like take that place.
Yeah.
But
No, you know what?
they'll have a room.
You know who it's going to be this week. Mark my words, Trenton Irwin.
Trenton Irwin.
It's a Trenton Irwin game, baby.
Trenton Irwin does seem to step in for them. I don't know why
He played yesterday.
Like, I mean, I don't like. He's good and all, but like, why does he play more than like Yoshi Voss and like? I mean, Charlie Jones has been hurt more, but like, when Yoshi Voss plays, the dude makes plays. Like, I think he's gonna be good. I've really liked watching him all year.
I think they probably just trust Irwin more.
He's just been there.
with
He's
the team.
yeah, that's fair. But I think Yoshi Voss. He's another one that I'm excited to see next year and whatnot. Because dude, when he's got it in this year, like he hasn't really played in that many games, but like he's scored in like 2 or 3 of them now. You know,
He's been good.
I think he's a good player.
All right, keeping it in the AFC North, the Colts beat the Steelers 30-13, basically ending the Steelers' playoff hopes.
Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of questions now are being asked about Mike Tomlin's job security. Obviously, they got rid of Matt Canada, but since then, they have been just as bad. So,
Worse, actually.
yeah. So, a lot of questions.
Statistically
A
speaking.
lot of questions in Pittsburgh right now.
I don't think that's Tomlin, though.
I don't either personally. I don't like all this Mike Tomlin hate has been like I don't know like it kind of caught me off guard because I'm kind of like this dude's like been one of the best coaches in the NFL for a very long time now, and he has never had a losing season. But on the same hand, I also see if you are stuck in this like cycle of being 9-8 every year, like you can't get out of that. You are a painfully average team. You don't have a high enough draft pick to get better, and you don't do anything in the playoffs because you're not that good.
It's just
It's just this painfully average 8-9, 9-8 zone that you don't want to be in.
It's fair.
But he still has never had a losing season.
That KZ hit, though, good God.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was-
he's out. Get him out of here.
He's suspended for the rest of the year.
Yeah, even if they make the playoffs, he's suspended indefinitely.
As he should be.
So that's happened more than once this year.
That was a pretty brutal hit, though. Like I know people complain like, "Oh, football, it's not football anymore," or whatever.
what
That
they
was a
complain
pretty brutal
about
hit. I mean,
is,
come on now.
Like Evans was like laying out, but
Pittman?
Pittman, yeah, he was laying out, but like if you watched it, like he still could have normally tackled him even if he was laying out, Yeah. So like, yeah, that was definitely a dangerous play.
Well, and did you see what Brady said?
Yeah, I did see that.
No, what did he say? I said he
Basically, like the quarterback's got to give Pittman, right? Something along those lines.
Yeah, I can look it up.
Well, he put it in a tough spot for Pittman. Like that was not a good throw.
Essentially, I'd have to.
Which is fair, but I still think as a defender, like I feel like that wasn't a necessary tackling method as a defender in that scenario.
There were multiple times this weekend where there were guys that lowered the
Yeah,
head.
he said
Like that might not have been a good throw, but like I don't know. I guess both sides. Not a good throw, not a good tackle.
What did he say? Evan?
Brady said, Nobody likes to see players get hurt, but hard hits happen. Quarterbacks should not be throwing the ball in areas where they're exposing their own teammates to these types of hits. Coaches need to coach better. Quarterbacks need to read coverages and throw the ball to the right places, and defenders should aim for the right hitting areas. To put the blame on the defensive player all the time is just flat out wrong. Need better QB play. It's not okay, quarterbacks, to get wide receivers hit because of your bad decisions.
I agree with everything he said completely. Mm-hmm. Because I think it is like, I mean, he still did throw in the whole, like, you know, the defenders need to learn how to tackle properly. I think that's right. Like, I think that
covered every ground.
Yeah, like the quarterback, that was not a good throw. He needs to put the ball in a better place. Like, the coaches need to coach him to do that better, and they need to coach the defensive players on how to tackle better. Because both, like, that was an unsafe tackle or an unsafe throw. I think that is like, yeah, he hit that on the head. I think right there. I don't think the NFL is softer than it has been, but I don't think that really applies as much here, you know, because that was a bad throw and a bad tackle.
Well, I'm just glad that he got up. I
thought it was going to be
like ambulance had to come out.
Yeah, because that was really bad. And he came back too, didn't he?
No.
Oh, he didn't.
He just walked off in his own power.
Didn't somebody say? Oh shit! I think somebody in the group chat said he came back. But
he said he wanted him to come back because he had him in fantasy. Oh. But no, there's 0% chance he was coming back.
Yeah, no. After that hit, no.
But he walked off and he looked like he was okay, which was good. But it was still just
probably hurt a lot the next day.
Evan, what were you gonna say about the Steelers?
Yeah, I'll let you go off here because
so the Steelers. Okay, so they're in an interesting situation. So like Zach mentioned, they haven't had a losing season in I don't know how long, but these last 3 or 4 years they've been painfully average. And they haven't won a playoff game since 2016. So that's, 7 years?
A very long time.
Which is a long time. And Steelers fans are obviously not used to that because Steelers are predominantly been pretty good. So the reason why people are starting to turn on Tomlin is because his greatest strength is also his greatest weakness. He's a super loyal guy. He's always loyal to his guys. Like, he very rarely fires people. Like, the staff that he has is the staff that he
has had for
a while. And so that was why him getting rid of Canada was such a big deal because that hadn't happened. So a lot of Steelers fans are just like upset about the fact that he's unwilling to like kind of change and like kind of change with how the NFL is going at the moment. Like the NFL is more of a passing league and it's led by quarterback play. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they've tried that, but since Big Ben, it's been unsuccessful.
Yeah,
and I think from what I've seen is a lot of plays where on offense specifically with the receivers where no effort's being put in. We saw Deontay Johnson a couple weeks ago. Fumble went right past his foot, didn't even look at it, and then you saw 2 or 3 times with George Pickens where this past game where they had a big run and he touched the guy and then let him go and there was another ring. So I think they need to have an internal conversation with all those guys and be like, hey, obviously I feel like Tomlin's not the type of coach to allow that stuff, but obviously something's going on in there to where that's happening on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. So some conversation needs to be had there. Obviously they need a new quarterback. That's pretty, I mean,
that's their main issue.
You can only blame Matt Canada for so much, and now that he's no longer there, it all goes on to Kenny Pickett's hands.
Yep, he was terrible before. He's always been terrible.
Yeah, and Trubisky's no better. So they are starting Mason Rudolph this week.
And he won't be any better
either.
We'll
see what happens there, but yeah, I'm not expecting a big change.
We're going to say that now, and they're going to beat the Bengals this week.
Well, it is in Pittsburgh, so it's always a tough.
I mean, I've seen him play, but like he's played before and he's terrible. So I mean, like all 3 of them suck. So I mean, we'll see, I guess. But.
Yeah. So they're in a tough spot. But like, yeah, I've seen a lot of people have said. I think it's like a situation kind of how you have with like a lot of the like Big Ten coaches, like John Harbaugh, Ryan Day, and James Franklin. Like all 3 of those tremendous coaches.
Yep.
But all 3 of them win in the regular season, but have 0 postseason success in the last couple of years. Yeah. But like you can't fire them because who else are you going to get? Like there's nobody better.
You're not going to get anybody better.
Yeah. So that's I mean Tomlin is a top 3 head coach in the league right now, but you can't like. You can't fire him because who else are you going to get? But so you're kind of stuck with him, and you're just kind of hoping that the way he approaches things kind of change and moves how like the NFL is kind of moving. Obviously, they have a tremendous defense. Steelers have always had tremendous defenses, but it's more on the offense. Like that offensive line is horrible. The receivers are just solid, but they don't have somebody to get the ball to them. And then you have Najee Harris, who can't read a hole if it was the size of freaking the Grand Canyon. So there's a lot of questions in Pittsburgh. And I mean, I expected them to do this. Like they do this every year. They start off like really hot, and in the second half of the year, they just wash it down the toilet. Yeah. So I was not surprised that they're currently sitting at 7-7, losers of 4 straight, and are more than likely going to miss the playoffs. I'm not surprised by that. But it is frustrating for Steelers fans. But
I'm enjoying it.
As a Bengals fan, you love to see it.
I'm enjoying seeing this. But no, I do. Like I think their quarterback room is the worst in the NFL. Their running back, their wide receiving room is solid, but they don't put any effort into the game. This is just a terrible offense, an absolutely horrible offense.
Like, look at this play from Najee Harris. Look at that hole, and he runs straight.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not?
Yeah, their offense is terrible.
And he runs here, right into the defensive tackle. Like, how do
their
you
offense
not
is so
see
terrible. The Steelers' offense is
but then
like
again,
on par with the Patriots.
It is. They're like Iowa. Their offense is horrible, but their defense is the reason they keep them in the game.
Yeah, I can't stand to watch this team. They are. This is. They are. They in my mind they are the Michigan of the NFL. Can't stand them with anything. I'd rather see them jump off a cliff.
Michigan can actually win games.
Yeah, exactly. These guys. This is a terrible football team.
I've sadly had to watch a lot of Steelers games this year, and it's been pretty painful. So.
Well, luckily I've only watched one, and that will be the. Well, I'm gonna watch 2. I get 3. The 2 Bengals and then this Colts one.
Yep. So a lot of questions in Pittsburgh. We'll see what they do because, like you said, they'll probably finish 8-9, I would assume, or 7-10, and so that still isn't getting you a great pick. So you're really kind of limited on what you can do.
Still in that tough spot
still
they've been in the past
again.
2 years.
Still in that
yeah,
be
they
interesting
can
to
stay
see.
in there as long as they want,
But I don't expect Mike Tomlin to be fired. I know a lot of people right after the game were saying that, but
I don't think that's
I would be
gonna happen.
genuinely shocked at that.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're gonna fire him.
All right. Staying in the AFC North again.
Ooh.
We got the Browns beating the Bears in a close one, 20-17. Game came down to a Hail Mary pass from Justin Fields that was dropped by Darnell Mooney.
DJ
More
Moore
than
wouldn't have dropped
likely should have caught that. It was in his hands, but he did not. So they ended up losing. And I think it's what the big takeaway for me from this game is, obviously, more than likely, barring the Panthers just going on a win streak after they won this week somehow. The Bears will have the number 1 overall pick. And so we talked about this last podcast. They have a plethora of options they can do. But I think what we're starting to see is that Justin Fields is actually a pretty solid quarterback. But his receivers outside of DJ Moore are questionable, to say the least, and the offensive line is still bad.
I think their biggest issue, offensive line-wise, interior. That's the big issue there.
Because their tackles are good. Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright are good tackles.
Absolutely.
The interior,
The interior is the rough part.
So do you think they take Marvin Harrison at 1?
I think they trade.
honestly couldn't tell you.
They trade back.
I think they trade back.
We just talked about this in the last one. If it was me,
I think they
personally, I'm probably gonna move on from Justin Fields if I'm the Bears. Personally,
No.
he did this last year.
No.
Yes, he did. Didn't we say that?
We did.
I thought we said that.
Well, it's the type of thing where more than likely they're going to get a new coach.
I would.
That's his third coach too. I feel like it's just best for them to just nuke it and start over. Except for DJ Moore.
Our reason was if you're not 100% sold that Justin Fields is your guy and you truly believe Justin Fields will lead you to playoff wins and potentially Super Bowl, then you take Caleb Williams. That was
And
our
I
that was our thought
personally,
process.
and personally, if I'm the Bears, I'm not sold on Justin Fields being the guy because he's done this for the last 2 straight years now. I mean, I love Justin Fields as much as you do. He is a talented player. He's a great athlete. He's an explosive athlete, but I just don't. He's not getting it done as an NFL quarterback. You know, like he did this last year. He played at a higher level at the end of the year, and everyone was like, "Oh, he might be the guy." All right, we'll give him one more shot. And what happened this year? It's the same roller coaster. He was terrible, and now he's
Did
like,
you realize?
"Oh, I don't know, maybe."
Did you realize heading into this game they were probably one of the hottest teams in football? They were. They genuinely were.
They are going to have 2 top 7 picks.
They were still in potential to get into the playoffs.
They weren't mathematically eliminated.
They were not.
Well, I mean, there's like 2
Zach.
teams that are mathematically eliminated. What's their record?
They are. They were 5-8.
They are 5-9.
They're 5-9 now.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
You
now.
win that game. I know it takes a lot, but
They would have had to win out.
win out.
Yeah,
And people would have had to lose.
yeah. I mean,
But it's like
okay, they weren't mathematically
I think
eliminated,
you're-
but like,
I don't think they move on from him. I believe, yes, you're going to get the number 1 overall pick, but you have a lot more holes than you would have. You have a lot more holes
so
than
theoretically,
needing a quarterback. I
they're-
think Fields is the quarterback going forward. You have 1 more year. I understand this is a good quarterback class, but then again, the next year is going to have Shedeur,
Shedeur. And then
Carson Beck,
Quinn Ewers.
Quinn Ewers. You're going to have other guys there too.
Drew Allen.
so
Theoretically,
so basically, you're saying they're in the same situation they were in last year at this time too,
No.
where they have too many holes. Other than like, they think Justin Fields
we
is
have
the guy.
straight
And they
up
have holes
said.
everywhere else.
We have straight up said. What did we just get done saying? DJ Moore is the only competent offensive weapon that they have,
Yeah, so then like
which is
what
an
I'm-
upgrade from last year.
Yeah, but like what
I'll
I'm
admit
saying
that.
is like what did they even do to like did they just waste an offseason then? Because this was the same issue they were in last year. They
didn't waste an offseason.
I mean,
They had a lot of holes, and it wasn't going to take one offseason to fix all of them.
did they fix any anyways? I mean,
Yes,
they
they
got,
did.
They got,
I mean, they
they
got-
got a tackle and 1 receiver.
They got a bona fide wide receiver 1. They spent a lot of money on defense.
They went out and traded for
They got
Montez Sweat, and since Montez Sweat has been there, that defense has been different.
I am wondering why you're so passionate about the Bears though.
Huh? I genuinely believe in. I genuinely like.
Well,
the
we've
Bears.
talked about this. It's just the Bears are set up great for the future.
Oh
They
yeah,
just have
I think
to
they
hit
are
on
too, but I'm just saying that I think they need to go
Yeah.
in a certain I think they've given Fields enough time. Like I said, I love Fields as much as you do. He's an Ohio State guy. He's an
I'm not
exciting
even
athlete.
saying this
but,
as
like,
an Ohio State guy.
I'm
not even saying
What
this
has
as
he
no.
shown to you to prove he's the guy?
Okay, you come out. Lord, I do this every freaking time. You don't listen.
I think you're the only one fighting for this guy, honestly. So I'm wondering, like, why?
I am definitely not the only one fighting for this guy.
I think the rest of us are on the same page about
He
him.
just said that he thinks Justin Fields is the guy going forward.
I don't know.
What?
I mean, I wouldn't be.
The last podcast, you said he
no,
wasn't.
No,
Did you watch? But okay, Fields looked really good in this game. I'll tell you that. Like I'm watching a play right now, which I can say.
his touchdown pass to Cole Kmet.
Yeah, I can say 5 quarterbacks I think can make that throw. That was pretty impressive. And actually, Lamar did the same thing. But and then the one where he threw it to Tunyon and he dropped it. That was a great throw. But Tunyon
Dude,
dropped it.
There was literally that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown, and they win the game.
I'm just saying, how much time are we going to get this guy? Like, how much
But
time are they going to give
I
him?
still stand on if the organization doesn't feel that 100% he's the guy, then it's really hard to pass up on a guy.
If you are in
Like,
their shoes, what are you doing?
if I'm in their
If
shoes,
you were the Bears, what are you doing?
I'm probably drafting Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Because I mean, I think Fields is good, but I don't think Fields is the type as it stands right now with how the roster is constructed is going to be leading them to playoff wins. But
And that's not solely
but
on
I'm
him.
not-
It
I'm
goes
not
on the
d-
coaching and the
yeah.
rest of the team too. But I still just think
I
like,
think if Fields
What?
goes somewhere else, I think he finds success. I just think
Yes.
the Bears are just not the right situation.
I agree with that completely. I think he will absolutely get another shot
So
to
I'm-
start somewhere else. But I just don't think
I'm
it's-
not out on Fields, but I think can be in the I think if I'm looking at it from the Bears' standpoint, that's probably how I would go. But
Yeah.
I'm not out on the field as a quarterback, just as the quarterback of the Bears.
I'm not out for him either. Like, I feel like I think there are several other teams that he could get another shot on, like the Falcons or a different team. And I feel, like he's gonna get another opportunity somewhere else. I just feel like it is to the point now where this it's just for the best interest of both of these parties, just go their separate ways. Like Fields, I think would be better somewhere else, and I think the Bears need to kind of just nuke it and start over. Except for DJ Moore, obviously. But they're probably going to get a new coach. They have 2 top 5 picks, probably. Like, I think it's time. I don't know. I think they're going to have a change of scenery, personally.
Okay.
I think I've seen mocks of them that I have loved, where they get guys. They draft Caleb at 1 and get Malik Neighbors at 5 or 6. I think that'd be a home run of a draft.
Yeah, because then you got him and Moore, and then you got a change of scenery at quarterback. I don't know.
Well, what makes you think that Caleb Williams can go in? If you're talking about nuking the team, like you just said, what makes you think Caleb Williams can go in there and do that?
What do you mean?
What makes you think Caleb Williams can go in there and make that impact?
What makes you think Fields can?
They have openly said there's multiple guys on that team in particular that have said they feel Justin Fields is better than both quarterbacks in the draft, the top 2.
Which is fair. I think they can. I think it's. I have no idea what they would do. I wouldn't be surprised if they trade out of it. I wouldn't be surprised if they pick Marv. I wouldn't be surprised if they pick Caleb.
I have no.
They have multiple rounds.
They have multiple options, and it's going to be very intriguing to see which route they end up taking.
I just feel like they've been so horrible. It's just, something's got to change. They went through 2 coaches. They're completely terrible, except for the last 3 games of the year, the past 2 years. It's kind of what,
They actually, but I feel the big difference this year is they have a defense that's actually keeping them in games too, keeping them competitive,
That's for sure.
keeping them a little more competitive than what they were last year.
But I don't know. We've seen. I don't know. To your point, what makes me think Caleb Williams can come in and help turn it around? We've seen multiple guys come in and help turn around god awful franchises.
Congratulations to the Brownies, though. They continue to find ways to win, even though they're on their 4th string tackle and 4th string quarterback without both safeties, too.
That was your sneaky playoff.
Yeah. Hey, my other one isn't looking bad either. They're still in the running.
Oh gosh.
Other than, getting their rocks beat in this week.
Yeah. Happens. All right. Let's move on to some. Talked a lot of AFC. We'll move into the NFC with
Specialty.
with the Bucks and the Packers. The Bucks won 34-20. The Packers are now losers of 2 straight? 3 straight?
3? Is it 3? Because they beat the. No, it's 3. I think
2 straight.
It's 2.
Okay. So they beat the Chiefs, and then they lost to the Giants, and now the Bucks.
That Giants loss is terrible.
But Baker actually has been. He played a great game. 22 for 28, 381, and 4 touchdowns. He's also the only player to have a perfect passer rating in Lambeau Field, I think.
Yep.
Rashad White obviously kept up what he's been doing, 21 for 89. But an interesting stat that a lot of people have been throwing is Tom Brady last year. The Bucks were 8-9. He had 25 touchdowns to 9 picks, 90.7 passer rating. And this year, Baker Mayfield is 7-7, 24 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, and a 94.7 passer rating. So I think we can all say that Baker Mayfield's better than Tom Brady.
I think he's playing well enough.
He's playing real well.
He's playing well enough to warrant them keeping him. Yeah. And this is the opportunity that he needed. And you can see a difference in him just getting to watch him play because that game got flexed on because the Jets suck on Sunday. But that's besides the point. But you can just tell it feels like he's got that drive again that it seemed like he lost. You know what I mean? He has a lot more in the tank. And I feel like it warrants, like, you know how at the beginning of the season we were talking about, well, Baker Mayfield's quarterback. They're going to be terrible.
We said they had the worst quarterback room in the league.
Yeah, exactly. I think
not the case.
It's not. And I don't even think they even come close to touching a quarterback, at least this year. I think he's warranted getting another opportunity. So, it's awesome to see. Chris Godwin had a game. Chris Godwin was amazing this week. It seemed like everything on that offense was clicking. The only thing that's hindering them right now, which is surprising, is the defense. But
they benched. They just benched somebody good.
Devin White.
Yeah, they benched him.
That's interesting because you had two of the best middle linebackers or interior middle linebackers in the league.
Well, I was reading something that he's actually not been as good as people think he is, but I couldn't remember.
Not anymore, but like a couple years ago when they won the Super Bowl,
Yeah, no, he was legit.
he was legit, but it's been downhill.
Yeah.
Zach, what are your opinions?
I don't really have much to say on this game. I didn't watch this game, so I mean,
I think it's-
I don't really.
Rashad White's doing his thing, like Evan said. I'm
course he
loving.
is.
I'm loving Rashad
Jordan Love's
White.
been. I mean, the Packers have looked terrible for 2 straight weeks now. I don't really know why. but,
Defense isn't getting stops.
I mean, hopefully that changes immediately.
Why?
Well, for multiple reasons.
Other than your fantasy team, what's the reason?
They were in the playoff picture.
They were.
They got to make a
Still
run
are.
here.
They still technically are.
Yeah, they got to quit sucking.
Well, they play the Panthers this week, so they shouldn't have been.
No.
should
Dude,
be all right.
I looked at Panthers tickets the other day,
$4, right?
45 cents.
Oh gosh.
45 cents, and then I found one like right behind the Panthers bench for $45.
Yeah, the Panthers are in probably the worst spot of all teams in the NFL, I'd say. Yeah, that's a bad franchise. We talked about that last week too.
Yeah. We don't need to talk about that.
No, no, we don't. But I think that's the big thing. Baker's looked amazing this year. He has earned an opportunity to continue going forward. It's just a team that has a lot of needs, which is a common theme with a lot of teams right now. So, I don't know if there's anything you got to add on that.
Nope, I'm good.
Jaden Reed's starting to look good too.
He is, yeah, I like it.
Their young wide receiving core is actually scary. Green Bay's.
Well, Green Bay has the youngest roster in the league.
They do.
I think their
I
average
like
age is
where the Packers are at.
23 or something.
Well, you got Jaden Reed, who's starting to look like a stud, the real deal. Christian Watson, when he's healthy, is a freak.
Mm-hmm.
Romeo Dobbs is a good one to have. And then
Yeah.
even Wicks has looked pretty good. So, and then you know, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon,
Well, those guys have not done anything
And
this
then
year.
Musgrave when he comes
and
back.
Musgrave. Yep. Even Tucker Kraft, dude.
He had
Kraft
a
was-
good touchdown.
Tucker Kraft has been
Yeah,
interesting too.
the Packers are in a pretty good spot.
They are. They're a young team,
They just need to work on the defense. Defense is bad.
and they need help
They
on
do
the
have
offensive
Jair
line.
Alexander, though.
Huh?
Yeah, they have Jair and Rashawn Gary and stuff, but they still suck.
It's still a lot of other holes, but Jair's been hurt a lot this year, though, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are leading the division.
Yeah, that division's so bad.
Remember at the beginning of the year when we all had the Buccaneers in last?
Yeah, we had the Saints win.
I did.
Still,
It's still possible. No, I had the Falcons. Never mind.
all still possible.
They're
The
all
only-
still
the only one
possible.
that mathematically can't happen is the Panthers. Everyone
And
else-
that was Nick chose the Panthers.
And we did too, Evan.
Did they?
Yes, we did.
I can't remember.
We did.
No, someone picked the Saints.
Oh, no, I picked the Saints, didn't I?
I honestly can't remember.
I think I might have had the... No, I did, because I had the Saints going to, like, the divisional round or something.
Yeah, and you got frustrated with me.
Just a terrible.
Yeah, because you had the Falcons.
Yet the Falcons were leading the division 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I know. They have a good record, which is stupid.
It's 6 and what?
Well, actually, I mean, it's not good. I mean, it's good for the NFC South.
Yeah.
But those guys are. Oh man, like how you guys feel about Staley is how I feel about what's his face. That moron.
Okay, we get it.
Yeah.
We're gonna avoid this conversation.
All right, let's talk about I think the biggest game of the week. Bills Cowboys. Bills won 31-10, and yeah, I mean the Cowboys were on top of the world. They were looking like a for sure like juggernaut team. We just finished talking about that, and they go and put up a stinker against the Bills. I mean the Bills looked great. Your guy James Cook, 25 carries, 179 to touchdown. He also had a receiving touchdown. Josh Allen won a game where he only completed 7 passes and only threw it 15 times.
Yeah.
And
Is he the greatest game manager in the game?
That was an amazing game. I
But, no,
thoroughly
like,
enjoyed
it-
that.
I think that speaks like that's a huge game for Josh Allen.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I know he like if you're looking at the stats, you're like, oh, he was terrible, but like he didn't need to do like
he
his
didn't need to be the guy.
yeah his biggest fault is he tries to make too much out of plays sometimes. Like he
Yeah.
tries to make the
He
most.
forces stuff.
Yeah, but there he just let the game kind of come to him, and I mean,
He only did what he had to.
yeah, he did what he had to do to win the game, and he said he would do that 10 times out of 10, which is fine. So
Yeah.
I mean, he still had 2 touchdowns, one on the ground, one through the air, but yeah, like he barely passed the ball. I mean, if it's not broke or whatever the thing.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
I'm just happy that this game might kind of
Completely gave it to James Cook.
this game might kind of silence the whole narrative of the Cowboys are the best team in the NFL. They're going to go to the Super Bowl this year. That might silence it for a week.
I
I think the NFL is completely wide open.
I do too.
There's
It-
this team
it
that I
is
look
this
at, and
year.
I'm like, those guys definitely
Yeah, I
every
agree.
team-
honestly.
I
every team's beatable. I mean, the 49ers are really good, but they've also
The Eagles
think-
are on a terrible
I
streak.
think it's clear who's coming out of the NFC this year.
Who?
The Niners.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's clear.
Barring them
Injuries.
Yeah,
Injuries were the reason why they went on that losing streak.
Yeah, the Eagles are on a losing. The Eagles have looked terrible for 3 straight weeks now. The Cowboys.
I mean,
The Cowboys do
Oh,
Cowboys
also,
things.
one
They do
thing
this
I
every
wanna-
year.
What I want to point out the Cowboys: 7-0 at home, 3-4 on the road.
That's why it's so important.
If they don't get the number 1 seed, they're not going to Super Bowl.
No.
That's
Unfortunately-
that's the biggest key
Yeah.
to this.
Unfortunately, they're playing at home in Week 17. I got 2 guys playing against them.
Who cares?
Me.
Oh, wah. Who
We're out
cares?
there. You're all just-
But I'm
out
not
there.
kidding. It's like
That's huge.
it is huge. That's a big. It just shows how big that the idea of home field advantage is. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is a night and day difference. And if
It
you looked
should
at-
not be that night and day, though. I mean, come on now.
It's been like this for a while now with them.
It shouldn't be, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, if they want to be a truly elite team,
They got to go out.
You can't just win your games at home and then blow crap on the road. Like,
Yeah, I know. I agree. It's. I was hyping up the Cowboys. I'm like, dang, this is looking like that team.
Yeah.
It actually, I genuinely,
everybody but me was doing that. So it was nice to kind of see that tone down for a week at least. Just at least a week.
I don't think it's enough. They got the toughest remaining schedule.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, they play the Commanders, Dolphins, and Cowboys or Lions.
Dolphins.
I meant.
Oh yeah, isn't it Dolphins Lions?
Dolphins, Lions, Commanders.
Because they play Dolphins.
So the Commanders will be an easy game for them, but Dolphins and Lions will be
Yeah, because the
tough.
Commanders can't cover anybody.
Yeah, but the next 2 games will be good games for them, though. Are they home, though, or are they away? They're
both
at
away.
Miami, aren't
They're
they?
both
No,
away.
they're home against the Lions.
No, they're not.
I promise you they are.
I don't think
I
they are.
am 90% sure.
I'm pretty.
If they're away, I'll love it. But
They're home against the Lions.
yeah, that's what I
Dang
thought.
it.
But
I thought they were away.
I wish they were
They're
away.
for the other 2.
I wish it was flipped.
That's what it
I
was.
wish they were away against the Lions.
But that's a game I'd like to see
Yeah.
because dome,
Yeah.
if that has an impact,
I mean, why does the dome have it? I mean, it does, but like if the
the turf, because they play on turf, artificial turf.
Well, outdoor teams have turf.
Yeah, but it's you get what I mean. They've yeah.
The Bills, this is a huge game for the Bills because
Yeah.
this put them back into the playoff race, and they
Yeah.
very well could still probably pull out that division.
Let's cut that out about the turf.
And
How-
they're getting back to the team that we thought they were going to be.
How many games behind are they in the division?
They're 8 and
There shouldn't be too far. Where is it? Dolphins are 10-4, and the Bills are 8-6. So
yeah.
I mean, they would have to win out,
Yeah.
but I think somebody was saying it
They can still make the playoffs,
on
though.
TV. He was like, the year that the Bills hype pretty much died down, they weren't projected to win their conference. They weren't projected to win the division.
Yep.
They've actually been able to put together a fairly good year. And I think if they keep playing like this, I think they're going to be a team that, if they squeak into the playoffs, a team that some of these better teams don't want to go up against.
Yeah, I said that too. I think if they get in, they're gonna be
a menace.
they'll make some noise if they can get in.
Which
They
I think-
they might have just kind of put themselves a little bit too far behind already to get in, but they might still get in.
They need a second option to take the heat off of Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
I don't think Gabe Davis is that guy.
No.
Neither can, and I mean Kincaid's good, but Kincaid can't do that much.
Well, they need a receiver to do something
Yeah.
other than Diggs. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the odds for the playoffs. Because they, because their odds got a lot better.
It's weird because you know how the Bengals are in right now?
yeah.
How?
Oh, how? No.
It's because the Colts have a better divisional record than the Texans.
That is true.
Yeah.
So the Bengals are in at the 6th seed over the Colts because of the head-to-head,
Yeah.
and the Colts are in over the Texans because of divisional record.
Yeah.
So the Bills have a 69% chance to make the playoffs after that game.
After that game,
That is interesting.
That's huge.
Their playoff chances skyrocketed after that game. That's why it was a huge win for them. And if they would have lost, it would have been 30%.
jeez.
I still feel like it hinges
Cowboys
on
needed
what
that-
other teams
The
do.
Bengals have a 37% chance to make
The
the
Cowboys needed that game in a bad way
Yeah.
because it's just
They looked horrible.
they couldn't do anything.
Finally.
couldn't do it.
Finally.
Dak was really bad. They couldn't get anything going on the ground. CeeDee Lamb had a garbage time rushing touchdown.
Is this-
Defense was getting killed.
Is this the year that we genuinely see a non-quarterback win the MVP?
I think it should be. I think Tyreek Hill should win it, but
Yeah.
I think
I think it should be
Purdy.
Tyreek Hill over CMC.
I think so too, but I think they're going to get Purdy.
There's no way they're going to hit the Purdy. There is just no way that's happening.
Purdy's currently leading quarterbacks in every single stat. So
What?
He
Seriously?
is.
Yep.
He is.
I can pull it up.
Is he even leading passing yards? Because I thought Tua was.
He might not be leading passing yards, but he's first in a lot of things. Second in passing.
I think
There's
It might be
no
Purdy.
way.
it might be
The
Purdy.
MVP goes to Brock Purdy.
Nobody picks Brock Purdy.
What on earth? That's absurd.
I don't know, man.
I mean, Brock Purdy's good, don't get me wrong, but, I mean, come on now. That's a little bit ridiculous when you have an almost 2,000-yard receiver.
And a 20 touchdown running back
Yeah.
that has
Who
over
gets
1,000.
Who gets 9,000 fantasy points a game because he touches the ball 80 times every day.
He's killing the rushing stats. The only thing that's close to him is Raheem Mostert, who has the same amount of touchdowns. Like, good night.
Yeah, no, he most is.
He's been great this year, turning back the hands of time.
Yeah, Mostert has been. Isn't he like 30? That is unreal.
I didn't think he'd make it through the season. I figured he'd get
I've
hurt.
never seen a running back that old be this good.
Yeah. So Purdy's second in yards with 3,795, first in touchdowns 29, and first in QBR with 76.
What type of NFL season is this, man? This season is weird as crap.
It is really weird.
Patty hasn't been Patty. He's complaining about calls.
Burrow's not playing. Rodgers isn't playing.
Like
3/4 of starting quarterbacks aren't playing.
Herbert's not playing. I mean, Josh Allen was not spectacular. Yeah, I mean,
Jalen Hurts is banged
Jalen
up.
Hurts isn't playing very well, and he's banged up. I mean,
it's crazy.
It has gone from Dak Prescott's going to win MVP.
Yeah,
It went from
yeah, you
it went
got
from
guys-
Jalen Hurts to Dak Prescott to Brock Purdy, and we'll probably get Tyreek Hill
and
or
Lamar.
Christian
We'll
McCaffrey.
get Lamar in there.
Lamar was in there at 1.2.
Yeah, you got guys like
I
Prescott.
think he's back in it now.
Who?
Lamar.
I agree.
You got guys like Prescott and Purdy like in the MVP conversation. Like, what in the world?
Did you guys talk about Cam Newton's comments?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Like Lamar, I can somewhat see Lamar being in the MVP discussion, but I just don't like that. That is just shocking to me.
They do it right over there in San Fran.
Yeah, but is that because of him?
I mean, I think
He's a good player. I just don't think he's the MVP.
I think people have been calling him a system quarterback. I don't think he's a system
No.
quarterback, but
Yeah.
I just
So
don't
he-
see him being the best player in the NFL this year.
so Purdy has minus 190 odds to win the MVP.
Jeez.
Then second is Dak with plus 450.
Ugh.
Third is Lamar with plus 500. Then you have Jalen Hurts at plus 1,000 at 4, and then 5 is Christian McCaffrey at plus 12.
So you don't even have the two best players in the NFL, like in those odds, pretty much. Besides, like you don't like McCaffrey's last and Hill's not even in it.
Yeah, well, I think because Hill didn't play, took him out.
Last week he didn't. He got
Yeah,
hurt.
I mean, but
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's a big game for the Bills. Congratulations to them. And
We'll see if they can squeak in the playoffs,
that would be sweet.
which odds say they should.
Yep.
Do we want to talk about the Ravens and the Jags? Just that. Really, all I want to say is I think the Ravens will look like the best team in the AFC, if that hasn't already been made clear. Lamar Jackson's playing as good as he did in since his MVP year. In Jacksonville,
The AFC South is wide open.
yeah, AFC South is wide open. It's a 3-way tie right now. Jacksonville, their offense is either great or horrible. I don't know. They're an up and down team. They look good some weeks. They look horrible other weeks. So I don't really know what to make about them.
Yep.
But yeah, Ravens look really good. They did lose Keaton Mitchell, which hurts.
Oh, that was nasty.
Yeah, that was a bad injury.
Ugh.
But I mean, they should still be okay. They got phenomenal defense and all that stuff.
Did you see who they just went out and signed today?
No, they get-
Melvin Gordon.
No.
They went out and got Melvin Gordon. So, yeah.
All right, last game of Week 15, we got Seattle and
There's a good
Philly.
chance that they make the play. There's a good chance they're the best team in the.
I would say so.
I really don't want to see a Ravens-Niners Super Bowl.
At least on this side, I'd hope for the Niners.
Yeah.
I mean, we got that whole color thing. There's no way that
That would
happens.
be
There's
wild.
just no
Have you
way.
seen that? Where like the Super Bowl's been projected by color. By like
Oh,
color.
56,
oh, yeah.
56 was
Logo.
orange and blue.
And
Last
then
year was red and green.
Yeah.
Now this year's purple and red. So we're going to see the Ravens and the Niners.
Is there any other purple? Vikings.
Viking. Wait, that's not possible.
Vikings and Chiefs.
Yeah, I guess that is possible.
But, yeah.
You heard it here first.
Oh, man, I don't want
Sorry.
If that happens, that'd be wild. But
I don't want to see the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I just don't.
Go ahead.
kind of like the Cowboys, the Eagles are kind of in the same spot. They just lost 20-17 to the Seahawks off a walk-off touchdown by JSN, which was very cool. Which was very
From Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Drew Lock, Geno Smith didn't play.
There you go.
Jalen Hurts was questionable coming into the game, but he ended up playing. But he did not play well. He played all right, but threw 2 picks, which isn't good.
And the one was a stupid throw.
Yeah. Both of them were to Julian Love.
Yep.
Kenneth Walker got back on track, 19 carries, 86 yards, a touchdown. DK played a decent game, 78 yards.
Hey,
But yeah, that Jackson Smith catch
wasn't.
was wild. He
Beauty.
caught that with like
That was a
it
great
was an
catch.
overthrow.
Yeah.
And he caught it with like the back of the football.
Yeah, that was a great catch.
great catch. But yeah, I mean, Drew
Them
Lock.
Ohio State boys, man.
Yeah, well, did you see what he said about Ohio
Oh,
State?
yeah.
So, yeah.
Guess what?
Oh, yeah. Drew Lock is. Someone said I can't I can't hate Drew Lock because I think he's the swaggiest player in the
I agree with this. He going from being the guy in Denver, getting traded to be a backup. It's honestly been a lot of things not going right for him. It was cool to see something good go right for him.
Well, he was emotional after the game when talking.
Absolutely.
So that was good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The Eagles, I got some questions. I mean,
They are playing.
I've had questions
Matt Patricia was the acting DC for this game. I mean, they played a little bit better, but they're losers of 3 straight now.
They have been
I've
playing
had questions on
horrendous
them
football.
for a while, a couple weeks.
Why have they not been getting AJ Brown the ball? First of all, when they were getting AJ Brown the ball, they were. I'm serious. Seriously. When they were getting him the ball, they were winning games in very good fashion. Why
They
did
were
that
also
stop?
capable of running the ball better than what they have been.
What is
They
going
ran the
on
ball
with this
decent
team?
this game.
They did
Swift
this
had,
game,
Swift had
but-
18% before, but yeah, they haven't been running the ball well at all.
Their offense has been sputtering as in general.
I don't understand what the heck's going on with this offense.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people are either just starting to figure it out, or they're just. I think a big thing of it is turnovers, which we talked about last week. Is they turn the ball over a lot. I think Jalen Hurts is tied for first for turnovers.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Josh Allen.
A lot of turnovers, yeah. So turnovers are a big part of it, but honestly, they have stopped getting the ball to AJ Brown.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's not involved more now.
Let me look and see AJ Brown's stats for those couple games.
If you look at his last couple of games, it's been his target share has been significantly dropped off, and I don't.
AJ
know why.
Brown?
Yes,
So,
Dude.
had 6
so
targets one game.
AJ Brown
last week.
had 5 catches for 10 targets this game, 5 catches, 56
So that was
yards.
back up a little bit.
Dude, he's
Then he had then against San Francisco and Dallas, each had 13 targets.
What are you
with,
What are you talking?
with 9 catches.
All right, I guess I was
What are you
wrong
talking
then.
He hasn't scored touchdowns as much.
That's
as
yes.
I guess I was wrong about the target. I could have
I was
swore
gonna
his target.
say,
said-
this dude's
Who's?
getting
Oh no, who was? We were talking about some. It was Amon-Ra St. Brown until that game on Thursday. His target share had dropped
Oh,
off.
we
for Saturday.
also looked at that, and Amon-Ra St. Brown also still was getting 10 targets.
I was gonna say.
I swear to you.
I'm not even kidding.
No, it's-
Before I came, I checked his targets. He's had 10, 9.
No. St. Brown's did kind of fall off a little bit.
St. Brown has gotten 9, 8,
Oh,
6,
man.
11, 11. So he had one game where he only had 6.
That's.
But I will say, AJ Brown
15, 19.
He hasn't been as explosive.
He hasn't scored a touchdown in 3 weeks.
Yes.
So that's hurt him, and he has 4 out of his last 5 games. He hasn't scored a touchdown, so that's big. He's still been getting the ball a decent amount, but it's not. It's not like he had those. He had those.
I don't want to have you looking like a moron again.
Well, he had those 3 weeks where he had 5 touchdowns in 3 weeks, and he was on that historic pace.
Yeah.
But he has slowed down.
So his touchdowns have dropped
His
off
touchdowns
pretty big.
have dropped.
Well, luckily for
He's had one touchdown since week.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why that's happening, but I guess his target share is the same. I don't know what's different then. His target's the same, his catches are the same. Why is he not scoring? I don't understand.
It's probably
because they get inside the red zone, get down to the 1 and tush push. I would love to see how many touchdowns Jalen Hurts has over the past 5 games.
I can probably find it.
Jalen Hurts
You got it?
How many touchdowns?
rushing touchdowns since week 9. Ready? 7 rushing touchdowns by Jalen Hurts in their past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games.
And he's thrown since then 3.
3, 4. Oh wait, no, that's interceptions. 4. Buffalo, San Fran. He threw 3 against Buffalo, 1 against San Francisco.
Dude, what? What in the world, man? He's thrown 4 touchdowns since week 9. Seriously?
Yep.
What type of crap is that,
How
man?
many touchdowns?
Mine's
On the
He's
ground?
thrown
on the ground since week 9.
Or just how many does he have on the ground in general?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
He's 14.
14 rushing touchdowns. 14 rushing touchdowns.
You've got to throw the ball more. I mean, come on now. Like, I don't know what in the world. And 7 of those came in the last half of the last couple
Season.
games.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Off the good old tush push.
they've got to be more efficient.
I saw something
through
like
the air.
40% of his fantasy points are from the tush push.
I would not be surprised.
Something like that.
They have got to be more efficient through the air. I don't know what in the heck they're doing, but A.J. Brown cannot not score a touchdown in 3 weeks. I mean, come on now.
Cortland Sutton is 3rd in the league in touchdowns.
Yes. He had 12.
Oh, really?
He had 12 out of.
He has 10 touchdowns.
He has 10?
Or this might be old. I don't know. But
I was going to say I thought he had 12.
I can,
10, 12, whatever.
10, 12, still double digits, but still. They're not they're getting into the red zone. They're getting the tush push. They're doing a lot more rushing than anything in the red zone.
But yet, they haven't ran the ball well recently.
Yeah,
Like,
but they're able to get inside
But
the
with
red
the-
zone,
yeah.
and Jalen Hurts has been able to get into the red zone.
Yeah.
So
but they do have some questions. They don't look as good as they once did. I mean, like you said,
Their
this is
defense-
just 3 straight. But yeah, it's been their defense.
this is so bad.
Yeah, their defense is really bad.
They had literally probably the
Skills,
best pass
hours,
rushing season of
works.
all time last year. One of them. And then this year it's where is that pass rush?
Yeah.
Like we hype up the Philadelphia Bulldogs, but
Yeah.
hasn't really done much this year.
Well, perhaps we'll see, perhaps we'll see something like the great Toby Keith has once said.
I ain't as good as that.
But I'm as good once as I ever was.
Well, it's the Eagles season's still not over. A lot
No,
can change
there's-
to come. They can get if they get hot win these last couple games, they're right back in it.
And they win the
Favorable
division.
playoff matchup.
Yeah.
They should be.
But they're going to need to win these games.
No, yeah, definitely games mean more than they did a couple weeks ago.
And they should be easy games.
Yeah, we'll see.
We will.
All right, let's get into some Week 16 predictions as we wrap up this episode. First off, we got Thursday night, 8:15, Saints at Rams.
Rams.
You're going to Rams?
I will also go Rams. Also, Nick sent me his predictions, but I do not remember them. So, I'm sorry, Nick.
That'll be a different time. Give me the Saints. I mean, it's hard for me to go against Matthew Stafford right now, but I think the Saints can get this one on Thursday. I'll go with the Saints.
All right, now we got 2 Saturday games again.
Let's go!
Bengals at Steelers, 4:30.
It's time to say who day. Give
So
me the
you're going
Bengals.
Bengals.
Mason Rudolph versus Jake Browning.
Taking
I'd
Jake
take
Browning.
Jake Browning any day.
Bengals.
I'm also taking the Bengals. It is in Pittsburgh, but it doesn't
care.
mean as much anymore because Mason Rudolph is playing in. I think the Steelers are just defeated. So.
They're just terrible.
And then
Do we even need to talk about this one?
we will, just because it could get embarrassing. 8 p.m. on Saturday, we got Bills at Chargers.
Oh, dear. Bills.
Bills.
Bills. Yeah, it's probably going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, we have a great game to open up the slate. Commanders at Jets.
Oh, dear heavens. What is this? A great game to open up the slate here.
Commanders at Jets.
Jets.
Jets. Jets.
I'm going to go with the Jets as well. Someone was talking about the Jets because Aaron Rodgers is more than, I think he's either medically cleared or really close to. If he wanted to actually play, he could be medically
He won't,
cleared.
though, because they're mathematically eliminated, aren't they?
Yeah.
But somebody was trying to defend the Jets, and somebody said, well, the Jets are basically in the same position the Browns are, but the Browns are still winning because the Jets have a top defense, or should have a top defense, and they're on, like, their second, third string quarterback, but the Browns are still better. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next year will be interesting for the Jets, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Now we got this always a good game with this one. Lions at Vikings.
Lions going to keep it rolling after the Broncos bounce back.
Lions.
I'm also gonna go with the Lions. I don't know.
Might be
Who's the quarterback for the Vikings in this game?
Yeah.
For one.
It's either Josh Dobbs, Sharon Hall, or Nick Mullins, and neither of them are any good. So
That's valid.
Josh Dobbs had a stretch.
Yeah, he had a Linsanity run.
Yeah.
That was the definition of a Linsanity.
We got Browns at Texans.
Browns.
CJ Stroud is not playing in this
He is
game.
not going to play?
He is. It says likely out Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, if,
Really?
if Stroud's not playing, I'm taking the
think
Browns.
he's-
If he's out, then I'm definitely
I
taking
think
the
he
Browns.
more than likely is not going to play.
If
So-
Stroud plays, though, I would maybe take the Texans.
but he more than likely is not. So I'm going to go with the Browns.
I'm going to go Browns
Yep.
as well.
Then we got Packers at Panthers.
Packers. They're getting back on track here.
They should get back on track in this game, so I'm going to go with Packers.
It's time to be different. Panthers.
Panthers win streak.
Panthers win streak, baby.
Oh dear, Pats are going to get.
They just lost
handed
to-
the number one pick.
They just lost. They just lost to,
Yeah.
Well, Tommy
DeVito.
Tommy DeVito got knocked out
He's
of
better
that.
than Bryce Young.
He got knocked out of that game.
I'm going with the Panthers.
Then we got Seahawks at Titans.
At the Titans.
The Hawks are hot.
Levis out because he has a high ankle
Let me
sprain.
take a look.
Is Derrick Henry playing?
Yes, I would assume so.
Crap.
He played. He played this week and did absolutely nothing. So
He at one
He
point
does that again.
He at one point had 0 yards.
Yeah.
it says.
Let's hope we see that
I
again
think,
this
I think Levis is questionable. Wait. Doubtful.
So this
So
is.
who's going to be the quarterback? Tanny.
Yes.
Oh gosh. So this is Titans and who did we say?
Seahawks.
Seahawks. That's right.
Let
give
me
me
see.
Seahawks.
I think it's looking doubtful.
Seahawks on the road.
I think it's looking doubtful.
Seahawks on the road.
Against a horrendous quarterback.
I will
Jeffrey
also-
Simmons is out too, so Kenneth Walker could have a heyday.
Yeah, I think it's Kenneth Walker's projected to have a pretty solid match.
K9.
I'm also going to go Seahawks. I think coming off a big win against the Eagles. I think that momentum's going to carry over. Then we got Colts at Falcons.
Please,
Colts.
Lord Colts.
Keep the Colts win streak going.
Yeah, I'll go with the Colts.
I'll also root for the Colts in this scenario.
But I think this one it could be a good game. You never know. The Falcons are either
Falcons are defense has been
their defense has been good. Jesse Bates has been really good.
Yes.
He's been phenomenal. He's probably going to go to Pro Bowl.
so definitely Colts.
Didn't the Falcons say, like, barring an enormous collapse, they will not fire?
Yeah.
Well, if they lose these 2 games, this is enough. In my books, that's an enormous collapse.
Well, I
That
mean,
is-
after you lose
that
to
is-
Carolina,
That is true.
after
I
you
am
lose to Carolina,
really hard rooting for the Colts here, just like I was last week.
that is true. I didn't think of that. Yeah. that is true.
In my books, this is a enormous collapse.
Yeah.
well, they play Indy, Chicago, New Orleans. Atlanta does.
They could lose all those games.
I am
could.
egregiously rooting for them to lose all of those games.
Start of the 4:00 slate. We got Jags at Bucks.
This is all Christmas Eve.
All Christmas
Oh, that's not a bad game.
Bucks, Jags
Yeah.
Eve in Tampa.
in Tampa. I'm going the Buccaneers.
I'll take the Jags. You like to pick the home teams, don't you?
Huh?
You like to pick the home teams. Don't
I feel like it plays a factor.
Roll.
you?
It has a role, but I think Tampa's offense has been playing pretty well.
Yeah,
Coming off of a outing
Yeah.
like they just had, I feel like they can carry that on. Plus, the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence is in concussion protocol.
he is in concussion.
I did, yeah,
protocol.
that's true, I guess. If Trevor Lawrence plays, I'm taking the Jags. Because, I mean, if we look at the Ravens game, like,
Ravens are probably one of the best defenses in the league.
that, but on the same hand, the Jags shot themselves in the foot, like, the entire first half of the game.
Yeah.
Like, it very well could have been.
Missed so many field goals.
Yeah, and like even if you take away all of those field goals, let's not forget about the absolute crap fest that was that final play of the half. It should have been at least 10-3 going into the halftime. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't miss like 2 field goals, then it is 10-9 going into halftime. You know what I'm saying? So like the Jags just egregiously shot themselves in the foot that entire game, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Understand.
I think it was like, yeah, the Ravens are a good team, and yes, that's true. But the Jags hung with them for pretty much the entirety of the game. They killed themselves. I got the Jags rebounding here.
I don't know if Trevor
Unless
Lawrence
Trevor Lawrence doesn't play, then
It's
I will
he's
take the Bucs.
still in concussion protocol, so I don't know, but it's also Tuesday. So.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Bucs, though. I think the Jags are going to choke the division away, and somehow the Colts are going to win the division.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but the Bucs are hot after this last game. I think they're trending in the right direction. This game is going to be a good one. Cowboys at Dolphins.
Cowboys at Dolphins.
Yeah.
Do we do Cardinal? Oh, never mind.
This is a good game.
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
I think the Cowboys will steal this one.
I feel like they could.
I think they will.
I'm going to go with the Cowboys as well. I think they'll.
Congratulations, Dolphins.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they'll get
Unless
back on.
Nick
track.
probably took the Dolphins.
I feel like Nick.
So then the Cowboys.
That
are
would be
gonna
a
win.
Nick pick.
I feel like he picked the Dolphins.
No, Nick loves the Cowboys.
Oh, we'll see after this when I look at my phone. Next, we got Cardinals at Bears.
Bears.
Bears. They should win this.
I think it's going to be interesting, though. I feel like that game could be a high-scoring affair.
It could be. Yeah.
What?
That's the Bears and the Cardinals in a shootout.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
never know.
Especially because the Cardinals' defense is so rotten.
The Cardinals as a whole are rotten.
Yeah, that's
Except they have a couple bright spots. That's about it.
Yeah.
You got Kyler, you got Trey McBride, Paris
Hollywood,
Johnson
maybe.
Jr. Hollywood's been terrible.
Yeah.
Paris Johnson Jr. and then Buda Baker.
About the extent of it.
That's about the extent.
yeah. Another awful team. Sunday night game. We got the Patriots playing at the Broncos.
Why?
Broncos.
Because there's 3 Monday night games. Because it's Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Christmas Day, we have
yeah.
three.
Yeah, I was gonna
One
say,
of those games
why
is going to
the
be
NFL?
phenomenal.
Why is the NFL?
I hope.
Why is the NFL making us watch this game on Sunday night? But it makes more sense now. Broncos.
I still would have flexed the Cowboys Dolphins this Sunday night.
Oh, that absolutely should be the Sunday night game. But the NFL likes to make their fans watch garbage games. And primetime.
Anything
affairs.
to make a couple bucks.
And primetime.
Who do you got, Joel?
Broncos.
I also have the Broncos. All right, first game on the Monday slate. We got
Merry Christmas.
We got Raiders at Chiefs.
Chiefs. Although this is normally a good game.
Raiders.
The Raiders playing close. That would be a big win for the Raiders. But I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
I'm going to go Raiders.
Then we got Giants at Eagles.
Eagles.
I don't know if DeVito's playing or not. Not that they're-
Yeah, I don't think that really matters. Eagles.
I'm also going Eagles. Now this potential Super Bowl preview.
The Christmas night game.
Yes, Ravens at 49ers.
Please, Niners. Please. Niners.
Also, not that this means a whole lot, but Brock Purdy did my minor league get a concussion.
He minor league.
Oh no, but he was back on minor moment. Remember, he got knocked out. And then
Yes, he came back.
So I think he's okay.
Finally got a concussion.
Well, they said he had a concussion test.
Yes.
I forgot that he came back in the game. So
This
never
is-
mind.
this is
he's
gonna probably
he's
be a
good.
game.
I hate.
I hope that
This could be. This literally.
This better not be the dang Super Bowl.
I think it will be.
Give me the Niners.
Do I do it?
No,
Do I do it?
you don't.
I'm gonna ride my boy CMC.
There you
49ers.
go. There you go. There you go. They're digging for gold, baby.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a phenomenal game.
I do too.
I'm going to lean towards 49ers just because I feel like at home should be better. But I think it's going to be a heck of a game, and it's going to be
It's a great way to wrap up Christmas.
absolutely.
Game.
Absolutely.
My butt will be home on my couch.
Watching that game.
Got that full slate of NBA games. Should be a
Oh
good day.
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. This might be a hot take.
Place a couple bets, Weaver.
Yeah, I was just saying. I'm gonna be honest. This might be a hot take, but I think the NBA is trash. So I'll be watching football.
I've barely watched the NBA this year. But
Yeah, I wasn't.
I've watched some games.
I wasn't sure if that was a hot take.
We have NBA League Pass. So I think.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was a hot take or not. But
I haven't watched as much as I usually do. But Christmas NBA usually hits because it's the only thing on. But now there's
Now there's football.
thank God football's on now. I don't gotta watch the NBA.
Thank God.
should be a good week of games. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. We hope you all have a Merry Christmas because But the next time we film, it will be after Christmas. So, yeah.
Change.
Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.